Once upon a time, there was a dragonfly that lived in a lush and serene forest. She was grateful for everything she had: a safe shelter among the leaves, abundant food, and always fresh water. His life was full of small pleasures: flying through the woods, enjoying the colorful flowers, listening to the birds singing, breathing the fresh air, and greeting the other inhabitants of the place. The dragonfly was friendly and generous, always in a good mood and loved by all. One day, while flying through the woods, she found a path she had never noticed before. Curiosity soon took over, and she decided to follow him. The path led her to a more remote and solitary part of the woods, where she found a large gray stone from which a delicate trickle of water sprang, forming a small well. The dragonfly approached and took a sip. She was delighted with the taste. It was the sweetest and most refreshing water she had ever tasted. He decided at that moment that this would be his new source of water. From that day on, she returned to the spring every day, several times. She became so obsessed with spring water that she lost interest in exploring the woods and interacting with her friends. His life began to revolve around that water. She believed it would make her happier. However, there was a secret in that water. The more she drank, the thirstier she felt. Thus, she entered an endless cycle of dissatisfaction and anxiety, which consumed her little by little. Each sip brought her pleasure and relief, but also an emptiness and anguish that made her want more, without ever really feeling satisfied. The other animals realized that something had changed in the dragonfly. She no longer flew through the woods. She didn't smile. She wasn't present. Some worried and tried to look for her, while others were relieved by her absence and thought to take advantage of it. Among them was the badger, known for being cunning, selfish, and always willing to deceive others. The badger heard about the magical spring that the dragonfly had found. Intrigued and with ulterior motives, he decided to go there. He found the dragonfly drinking voraciously and approached with a fake smile. "Hello, dragonfly friend. What do you do here? I haven't seen her in the woods for a while." The dragonfly raised her head, a little surprised. "Hi, badger. I'm drinking from this source. It's the most delicious water I've ever tasted. Want to try it?" The badger, feigning sympathy, replied, "Of course, friend. But tell me, why do you drink so much of this water? Wouldn't it be enough to take just a little?" "I can't stop," replied the dragonfly. "This water is so good that it makes me want more and more. She makes me feel good, but at the same time, she makes me feel bad. It quenches my thirst, but it also makes me thirstier. I can't understand it." Realizing the vulnerability of the dragonfly, the badger saw the perfect opportunity to take advantage. He said in a serious tone, "I'll tell you the truth. This water is not common. She is magical and possesses a power that binds and enslaves you. The more you drink, the more you want. And the more you want, the more you suffer. This water makes you want more than you need and takes away your inner peace." The dragonfly was confused and asked, "How do you know that, badger? What can I do to get out of this situation?" The badger smiled mischievously. "I know everything because I'm the smartest badger in the forest. I'll help you get rid of this water, but in return you'll have to give me something." Distressed, the dragonfly asked, "What do you want me to give you?" The badger replied with a fixed gaze, "I want your wings. They are so beautiful and delicate. If you give me your wings, I will tell you how to stop drinking from this fountain." The dragonfly was shocked. "Are you crazy, badger? How can I give you my wings? How am I going to live without them?" The badger tried to convince her, "Don't be foolish. Your wings are of no use to you now. What you need is this water. But this water makes you sick. I can get you out of it, but you need to give me your wings. Think about it. It's a fair deal." The dragonfly was silent, steeped in doubts and fears, not knowing whether to trust the badger or not. That's when a wise owl appeared, landing silently on a nearby branch. She knew the dragonfly and knew that it was a good and generous being, deceived by the water of the spring. And he knew the badger, a malicious and deceitful being. In a clear and serene voice, the owl spoke, "Dragonfly friend, don't listen to the badger. He's lying. The badger doesn't want to help you. He just wants to steal from you. He doesn't know how to save you from the water. He just wants to deceive you." Surprised to hear the owl, the dragonfly raised its head, and recognized it as a wise and respected animal who always told the truth. "Who are you, owl friend? How do you know all this?" "I am the guardian of the forest," replied the owl. "I know everything because I see everything. I'll tell you the truth. This water is magical and holds you. The more you drink, the more you want. And the more he wants, the more he suffers. This water makes you want more than you need and takes away your inner peace." The dragonfly, still confused, asked, "What can I do to get rid of this water, owl friend? How can I get back to my normal life?" The owl replied with a compassionate tone, "I'll tell you, but I don't ask for anything in return. I only ask you to listen to me and believe me. I also drank from this source a long time ago when I was young. The same thing happened to me as it did to you. I became addicted to the water and forgot about everything else. But one day I realized my mistake and decided to stop drinking. It was very difficult, but I did it. Since then, I've been the owl you see now, old but wise, simple but happy." The dragonfly was intrigued. "What did you do, owl friend? How did you manage to stop drinking?" The owl explained, "I stopped drinking from this fountain and went back to drinking from other places. At first, water from other places seemed dull and boring, but little by little, I rediscovered pleasure and satisfaction. I realized that the water from other places was just as good, or even better, and most importantly, it didn't hurt me, just good. It satiated me, hydrated me, and gave me back to life." The owl continued, "There are no tricks, no secrets, no spells, dragonfly friend. There is only one thing, the will, the desire to stop drinking from the source and to seek other paths, the desire to give up what makes you bad and choose what makes you feel good, the desire to change your life and be happy again." Moved by the owl's words, the dragonfly made a decision. "Owl friend, thank you for opening my eyes and saving my life. I'll follow your advice. I will stop drinking from this fountain and get back to my life. I'm going to rediscover the joy of living." The owl smiled. "I'm glad you trust me. You will see how your life will improve and your happiness will increase. I will always be around to help you if you need it." The dragonfly and the owl embraced and said goodbye. The dragonfly left the spring and followed the path back to the forest, where he found his friends, his life, and his happiness. The badger, who had overheard the whole conversation, was open-mouthed, frustrated that his plan had failed. Thus ends the story of the dragonfly and the fountain, a story that reminds us of how sometimes we desire things that seem good, but that actually hold us back and take us away from what really matters. It teaches us that willpower and the support of true friends can help us overcome any obstacle and find true happiness.